How do you feel about the Honorable Louis Farrakhan coming to Norfolk, Virginia?
I'm real excited about it. I've never heard him in person, but I've seen him on Arsenio. I've seen him on several shows, but I really do find him to be very interesting, and a lot of what he says is correct. I can't say that I have always followed him, but I'm very interested in what he has to say.
It's time for him to come. He should have been here a long time ago. Black people are not really ready for him, but it's time for everybody to wake up and listen to what he got to say.
I'm well delighted. You know, it's about time he came down to the area. You know, other than that, we would have to travel or move about to see him, but he finally came around in our area, so we might be able to manipulate our society a little better.
I'm very excited and very honored to actually see him in person. I'm very excited about Louis Farrakhan coming to Norfolk, Virginia. I feel that he's very intellectual and uplifting to me as a black woman.
Well, I'm glad he has come because things are so bad in certain parts of Virginia that it's time that someone came and kind of try to straighten these people out here. Maybe they'll listen to his message.
Well, I'm certainly glad that he decided to come to Norfolk because I think he's carrying a message that we all need to hear, especially as young black men, you know, like myself. It's an inspiration to see such a speaker, you know, in this area.
I think it's a good thing he's coming here. I think he's a powerful speaker, and we look forward to hearing his message.
Yeah.
I think it's a great opportunity for those that don't know a lot about him to find out the truth, to hear him speak it instead of just reading and hearing the news.
He's one of my idols, and I'm just delighted to be here. I think he's fantastic, and I can hardly wait to get in to get a picture to go on my wall right next to Mandela. I teach my children every day that he's the role model to follow.
I feel that it's a real good thing. I admire Minister Farrakhan for his integrity, for his honesty, and for his stand on African Americans. And I think it's a real good thing. And I think it's time for us to come together as one.
I just moved here myself, so to see a leader like Farrakhan come here, who I've been following for the last 4 or 5 years, come to this city, lovely city, population 64% black. I'm a young, intelligent black man. I love to see a man like this come here. I think we need more of this. His leadership is one of, I can't even really explain it, man. You know, I'm ready to go in and see him, but I'm very happy about him coming to Norfolk.
I feel the same way. A man of his stature helps me to raise my son the way I feel a child should be raised. I was deprived of a lot of knowledge when I was coming through school, and I feel that I can help him get more insight of where he came from and what's really going on today through this man here. I really love this man.
I think it's a blessing that for him to come to Norfolk, and a lot of black young men need to be here to hear this. Thank you.
He's a very powerful man. I think he has a message that needs to be heard. I hope that his message will be a message of brotherhood, working together to rid our society of violence, of crime, of drugs, so everybody can participate and get a piece of the American dream. I do believe this is a great country, and I believe that if we can all move together and get rid of bigotry and prejudice, we can make this country work for everyone. So I'm optimistic, and I'm glad he's here.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan is here. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan, the fighter for freedom, justice, and equality. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan. Do you love Farrakhan? I can't hear you. Do you love Farrakhan? Well, he's here, the man we work for. And we thank you for coming out. This event could not have taken place without you. We love you. So the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, he's here, Farrakhan. The Honorable Louis Farrakhan.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, the one God to whom all praise is due, the Lord of the worlds, Allah, the Creator of all things, the Revealer of all truth, and the Sender of all prophets. To Allah alone do I submit and seek refuge. We thank Allah for Moses and the Torah. We thank Him for Jesus and the Gospel. We thank Him for Muhammad and the Quran. Peace be upon these worthy servants of Allah. If I lived to be 1,000, I could never thank Allah enough for His intervention in our affairs, in the person of Master Farad Muhammad, the great Mahdi, who came among us and chose one from among us to be His messenger, His Messiah to us. And that one is the man who taught me what I know and gave me the example of the man I hope to become, our divine leader, teacher, and guide, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. I greet all of you, my dear and wonderful brothers and sisters here in Norfolk, Virginia, with the greeting words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum. To Minister John and the believers of Mosque number 57, to the committee that worked to bring Brother Farrakhan here, the Reverend Dr. Reed, Attorney Gay, Ida Sands, and all those who worked with you to make this day possible. To every brother and every sister who sold a ticket. This event, by God's grace and by His grace alone, is successful.
Yes, sir.
They did everything they could to hinder you from being here tonight, from saying that it was sold out, to withholding tickets, that we had to come and buy tickets from this place before we could even sell tickets, which meant that if we didn't have a big pile of money to buy out the entire arena, then we could not buy all the tickets, so we had to buy them in increments and then use what money we could to buy more and then to advertise. But with all of that, here we are tonight. With all of the killing that is going on in Norfolk among black people, they should have given us this arena free of charge. The radio stations should help us. we have to pay thousands of dollars, and it's unfortunate that we have to charge people, but we have to pay thousands of dollars just to get an arena. And you'll be surprised the kind of money that we have been charged in various cities across this country just to talk to our men or our women or our people. They are very frightened because for the first time in the history of our sojourn in America, black people are willing to stand in lines in city after city after city to pay $10 or $15 and then even give in charity to support a black man who is standing for our people. Since they have not seen anything like this, and this is not a singer of song or a comedian or a sports figure, but a serious teacher of our people. They are frightened because they don't control Brother Farrakhan, and they don't I'm not one of their boys. And because I'm not, and have the love for you and the courage to speak the truth that will set you free, they are angry with me. And you know, when they're frightened and angry, they usually try to set things in motion to bring about the demise of that individual or that organization that such individual represents. But I don't worry about that, because the scriptures teach us, yea, though we walk through the valley of the shadow of death, if the Lord is indeed our shepherd, then we fear no evil, for he is with us. I could not be here with you tonight if the Lord of the worlds were not with me. And I would not be able to stand before you these many years, nearly 40 years, if God were not with me. So I am honored beyond words. I am honored beyond words to be in this great city of Norfolk, Virginia, one of the great cities of this nation, but a city like other cities that is plagued with very serious social problems. The greatest of these problems revolves around black men killing one another. So my host, Minister John, and those with him, Dr. Reed, have chosen a subject for me titled Stop the Killing. Now let's look at that subject. The sentence structure of the subject is important. Since we have studied grammar, when there is a sentence that starts with a verb, stop, the subject of that sentence is understood. And the subject, of course, is you. So when we say stop the killing, who are we talking to? You. Say, well, I haven't killed nobody. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You may not be killing anybody, but you are killing somebody if you're killing yourself. Either by ingesting that which is against your own good, or by doing things that set things in motion that bring about the destruction of human life and social progress. So you, not somebody else, you, stop. The word stop means to use power and force to stop something that is in motion. Now, a body in motion will tend to stay in motion, except it is stopped by a superior force. Just the opposite of a body at rest tending to stay at rest unless acted upon by an external force. A body in motion, something in progress, can only be stopped by a force greater than the motion of that force.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right.
It is an opposing force that has to be greater than the force that is moving us in the direction of self-destruction. All right. You understood stop, meaning you have to marshal the total force of your being to put a stop to the motion that is bringing about the destruction of our people, and each one of us has something to do with the death of all of us. Each one, from the leadership all the way down, the subject is yours. Stop the killing. Stop what? The killing. Not a killing, but this is specific. It's the definite article, the. The word killing is a verbal noun. It's a noun that's the object of the verb stop. But it's an activity that's in motion. Killing. It is a process of death that has begun in the past, is continuing in the present, and we together, guided by God, must marshal all the forces of our being to stop the march of death that is upon our people. It's a good subject. Whenever somebody says stop, it's some kind of traffic cop. Somebody with authority is involved. Stop. Stop. Usually that person has some kind of badge that demonstrates the power that is backing that individual when he tells you stop. If it's a traffic cop, you see the badge, you see the uniform. He said stop. When I was coming into the scope, we had a route. The police was there. He said stop. We understood we were trying to get in here. He understood, but he had to check with his superior, so he told us stop. We could have been foolish. and not respected his authority to tell us to stop. But he who told us to stop was an individual. He certainly wasn't stronger than the car. He certainly wasn't stronger than the occupants in the car, but he had authority. He was representing the city of Norfolk. Therefore, he had the backing of the whole city to stop us at that moment. And for us to buck him, it would be to disrespect authority. Therefore, we would be arrested, and it would be the people versus. All right, now. Whenever prophets of God come, they're called the stars of God. The star in the universe represents justice. It justifies our belief in the law of justice and in the Creator. The star literally beautifies creation. Every prophet is called the star of God. He's God's law officer. He comes into a nation or city because things are wrong, not because things are right. When a prophet shows up, that's like somebody calling the police. That's right. Yes, sir. When somebody calls the police, they don't call him because something is right. They say, well, something is wrong. We can't stop it. Call the law. When the prophet shows up, he comes back by the authority of God. Listen now, listen. Now, you know, if we had run over that policeman out there, it would be the people versus Farrakhan. Well, doctor, you got to be real careful when somebody comes in the name of God. Now, there's a lot of fakers, there's a lot of phonies, there's a lot of people who say, you know, God sent me. Check them out. The Bible says many will come in my name, but go not nigh unto them. Say, my sheep know my voice, a stranger they will not follow. However, many are going to come in the name of the Christ. And when the Christ comes, he comes because he's anointed by God to crush wickedness, to stop the motion of a world that has gone contrary to God. The world that is contrary to God is the world in which we live. Now the star of God, the prophet of God, the messenger of God comes like the sheriff. In Arabic, the name for the guardian of law is Sharif. And from the Arabic Sharif, you get the English sheriff. He has a badge on, that's a star, letting you know I come in the name of the law of justice to use the force that is at my disposal to bring a stop to the disorder that is here, that is disturbing the peace. Okay. Now, we live in a world that's constantly saying peace. We just had the king of Jordan and the rulers of Israel sign something that looked like a peace accord. Please. please. We had Arafat and Rabin signing something that looked like a peace accord on the lawn of the White House. These are photo opportunities for the press and photo opportunities for the American people to help the sinking popularity ratings of the president. Peace is the quest of every human being who is intelligent and civilized. You want to live in a state of peace. Anything that breaks the peace calls for the officer of the law to establish peace by giving justice. Now, the Bible teaches us that we live in a world and at a time where they will cry, peace, peace, peace. And the scripture says they will seek peace, but they shall not find it. Who are they talking about? The king of Jordan, Rabin, the Serbs, the Croats, North Korea, South Korea, all of the little satellites of the fallen Soviet Union, America, the Pope, everybody talking peace. We want peace. Why is there no peace? No peace in the world and no peace in the ghetto. Peace does not come because the Pope calls for it. Peace does not come because the prophet calls for it. Peace comes only when men and women submit their will to do the will of God. You cannot make peace with your neighbor before you make peace with your Creator. You can have acquaintances that appear to get along well. That's not peace. Crooks get along well. They're not at peace, not real peace. Pimps and prostitutes may appear to get along well. The dope user and the dope seller may appear to get along well, but that's not peace. Peace is the way of God. Peace is the aim of God. God is the author of peace, and true peace can only come from God. So when man is in disorder, somebody has to come in the name of him who created order. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught me that the first law of the universe is motion. After motion, the next law is order. Whatever you put into motion, you have a responsibility to bring it into order. And you cannot bring it into order except there is a law imposed on that which is in motion. Now, brothers and sisters, this world is in motion. But you can see that the world is out of order. And therefore chaos is everywhere in the world under the rule of the present rulers. and they cannot bring any more order or compliance to their way, because their way is contrary to the way of peace and the way of God. So now rebellion is breaking out all over the earth. Listen, just listen. Jesus prophesied war and rumors of war. Nation rising against nation, kingdom against kingdom. Why? Because when God intends to bring about an end to an evil system, then he inspires revolt against the evil. So now nobody can bring order. There's not order in the home. There's not order in the school. There's no order in the church. Therefore, there's no order in the society. There's no order anywhere. People are becoming very filled with the spirit of anarchy. I ain't following nobody. Ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do. I'm gonna do my thing, my thing. Well, how you doing? Doing your thing. Is your thing bringing you peace and contentment of mind? Your thing is killing you. Stop the killing. I have come to Norfolk in the name of the sovereign of the universe, backed by the sovereign of the universe. And I've come to deputize you. If you will accept the job, there's lawlessness out there. There's madness out there. We just happen to look sane right now. Because you in here sitting down under some sane teaching, you look sane. But when it's over, more than likely, unless you're serious, you'll go back to the insane activity that's bringing about the death of the family, the destruction of marriage, the killing of the unborn, the abuse of women, the abuse of children, the disrespect of law, the disrespect of self, and there's no consideration for life. We seem to be bent in the worship of death. So if you would be willing to be a deputy, tonight I would like to deputize each one of you as deputies of God.
Yes, sir.
To start with yourself and stop the killing first of you. Then you got to stop it in your families. Then you got to stop it in the community. Then we can stop it in the nation. Then we can stop it in the world. But it starts with you and me. What a wonderful subject. Stop the killing. Now, this kind of subject is very, you can take it very deep. I don't want to go as far as I probably would like to go because of time constraints and because maybe you wouldn't be patient enough with me that I could go as deep as I think we need to go to help you to see what you are doing to aid in the killing season that is out here. You should know, brothers and sisters, that our children that are out there with the guns in their hands, with the drugs in their hands, shooting and killing one another, that didn't just happen in a vacuum. There's a whole process that has been set in motion that has led to this time of trouble like there never was since there was a time and a nation. And the book said at that time Michael will stand up. Somebody's going to have to stand up for God. Stand up for Jesus. Stand up for truth. And stop the world from its headlong rush to destruction. Now, brothers and sisters, if you will bear with me for the next few minutes, I would really like to show how division is a part of death. And anytime we work to divide us from one another and divide members of the human family with artificial machinations that bring about hatred of one member of the family for another, we are contributing to the death of the spirit of the human being. Listen, we think as Christians and as Muslims and as Jews or Hindus or Buddhists or believers in Zoroaster or Shinto or Tao, that we are, of course, believers in God and we're on the right path. Many of us who are Christians and Muslims, if I asked you, are you on the right path? Are you contributing to the killing? Every one of you that are Christians who are serious about your Christianity, you will say, no, not me. I ain't in that. But you sure are. You just don't know it. Anytime you divide the people of God from God, you are precipitating the motion of death. Listen, there is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the ends thereof are the ways of death. How many of you in this audience are Baptists? Raise your hand. Hey, come on, don't be bashful. Come on. Thank you. How many are Methodists? Raise your hand. How many AME? CME? How many Church of God in Christ? Come on, come on. How many Jehovah's Witness? Thank you. How many Muslims? How many Sunni? How many Sufi? How many Shiite? How many Democrats? How many Republicans? How many independents? Come on, come on, come on, come on. How many alphas? How many omegas? How many kappas? How many deltas? How many sigmas? How many AKAs? Oh, how many masons? How many Shriners? How many Odd Fellows? How many Lions? How many in the Rotary Club? How many Eastern Stars? How many with a BS degree? How many with an MA degree? How many with a PhD degree? How many with no degree? from Georgia? How many from Louisiana? How many from Mississippi? How many from New York? How many from Virginia? How many from California? Oh, well, all right then. But if all these things make a difference to you, how many of you teasing tan? How many call yourself Sweet Georgia Brown? How many white folks in the house? How many black folks in the house? How many Hispanics in the house? How many Asians in the house? What have I been doing? How many got kinky hair? How many got straight hair? How many got thin lips? How many got thick lips? Hello. What have I been doing? What have I been doing? I've been showing you how you're contributing to the process of death by raising your differences to the point where they make us think we are either better than or less than or more than or should be more privileged too. It's all death. Paul said, is Christ divided? Come on. If Christ is not divided, then how are Christians divided in Christ's name? Come on, let's talk now. How many are Christians? Raise your hands. Look at the statistics last night. How many who were killed said they're Christians that killed another Christian? Hello. Christians don't kill Christians. Christians don't kill believers in God. How come it's going on like this among Christians? Well, they're not really Christians. Are you sure that you are? Oh yes, I'm a true Christian. You are? Are you really? What was Jesus? Since he's the man that you follow, talk to me. Was Jesus a Christian? Uh-oh, I didn't get no answer. I didn't get an answer. Was Jesus a Christian? Did Jesus know anything about this that you call Christianity? No. Find me one scripture in the New Testament where Jesus said, I am a Christian and all who follow me must be called Christians. You can't find it, it ain't there. Isn't that something? You gonna tell me that if I ain't a Christian, I'm going to hell, but Jesus wasn't one. Oh, we gonna talk tonight. We gonna stop the killing. We gonna stop this religious madness. Because until you can stop madness at the highest level, spiritual level, then you can't stop it in no other place. You're divided religiously, and you hate one another over these artificial barriers that have divided the people who say they believe in God. And that's why religion has no power to stop the killing. You got a church on every corner. But you are powerless to stop the whore from whoring, the pimp from pimping, the drug pusher from pushing, and the bang from killing his own brother. Powerless religion. Vain pastors, arrogant pastors, fighting for more sheep to mislead. We're going to stop some killing here today. And if we don't stop it among the crazy leaders, how in the hell can we stop it among the crazy people? Are we leaders? Who says so? Which one of these people did we create? That we would dare call them our flock when the scripture says, woe to the shepherd who scatters the sheep of my pasture, of my flock. They're not yours, they're not mine. They're God's people. And how many is God? God 66? God 99? God 160? Kul huwa Allahu ahad. Say he, Allah is one. Moses said, no, the Lord your God is one. Jesus has never told you to worship him as a God beside God. Come on. We're going to get some truth here today. We're going to stop this killing. Anytime you set up rivals to God, you're killing people spiritually. Jesus said, when they said, Master, teach us how to pray, he said, pray on this wise. Our Father, not mine and not yours. I got a father, but you ain't got none. You're a bastard. He didn't say that. He said, our Father. So you can't call nobody that belongs to Christ a bastard. Come on, let's talk now. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be my name. Is that what he said? Hallowed is my name, Jesus. He said, hallowed be thy name. Uh-oh. He said, my kingdom come. What did he say? What? Thy kingdom come. Whose will be done? Come on. Thy will. Was he talking about somebody that he was equal to, or was he talking about somebody greater than himself? Come on and talk to me. What happened? You got still. I believe in Jesus. I want to follow him, because that's what I was commanded to do. He didn't say worship me. He said come follow me. In the book of John, listen. If I'm wrong, if I don't quote it right, I got Dr. Reed here. He knows the book. There's another pastor here. He knows the book. Straighten me out. I'm going to the Bible, but I'm going to jump in the Quran in just a minute or two. We're going to stop the killing. In the book of John, Jesus said, or it was reported in the book of John, God is a spirit, and those who worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth, for such who seeketh? The Father seeketh. The Father seeking worshipers. Jesus is seeking to bring you and me to the Father, not to him as a God beside God. Let's see if we're right. When Jesus saw the bitter cup, and he did not want to partake of it. If he were God, he could have said, I ain't drinking it.
That's right.
I don't like that drink. I'm going to make me another one.
That's right.
He said, Father. He wasn't talking to himself. He said, Father, pass this cup away from me. But the Father said, this is something you got to do, son. In words. He had to go through something. He didn't necessarily want to do it, but for God's sake and for our sake. He submitted and said, thy will be done.
Yes, sir.
When he was on the cross, he didn't say, I think I'll get on down from here.
That's right.
He was hanging there, brothers and sisters, according to the book. Who did he call on? He said, my God, Eli, Eli, Lama Sabachthani. My God, why have you forsaken me? Unto thee, Father, I commend my spirit. It is finished. It is done. I did what I came into the world to do. I did what you wanted me to do. Jesus talking, whatsoever I hear, that I speak. Whatsoever the Father commands me, that I do. He was not independent. He never told you, pray to me. He said, pray to the Father. And whatever you ask of the Father, ask it in my name. He didn't say ask it of me. In the church right now, you make more fuss over Jesus than you do over the Father. Stop the killing. Stop it. You're killing yourself spiritually. That's why you don't have any power, because you didn't plug up to the right plug. You got a short in your system. Sometimes you light up, then the rest of the time you in darkness because you ain't plugged up right. Jesus didn't want you to plug up to him. He wanted you to plug into the Father like he was plugged into the Father. He didn't say he was doing something that we couldn't do. He said, greater works that I do shall you do. Why aren't you doing them, Reverend? Why aren't you doing them, Christian? It's because you're not plugged up to what he was plugged up to. You've got a bastardized form of religion that has killed you and caused you to kill yourself and killing the world in the name of God. Oh, it's rough. I know it's rough. I know it's rough. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm just trying to tell the truth so you can be deputized to help stop the killing. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm just trying to tell the truth so you can be deputized to help stop the killing. And as long as we feed religious differences, we're feeding the process of death. I'm going to get to Muslims in a minute. Jews too.
Yes, sir.
So y'all hang in there. Nothing will leave untouched. Because we all have to do our part to stop the killing. Dear family, if Jesus didn't know anything about Christianity, and the name Christian only became applied to the followers of Jesus according to the scripture at Antioch, when they appeared to be the followers of a man that they deemed to be the Christ, then they began naming the religion after the personality of Jesus. That's a mistake. How old is that which Jesus taught? He said, before Abraham was, I am. Jesus didn't bring any new religious system. Jesus was the greatest exponent of a religious system that was as old as God himself, but more than that, Jesus was the example, a perfect example of that system. Oh man, come on. Never name the religion of God after a personality that comes and goes. Buddha came. He didn't teach nothing brand new. He came out of that old system, taught the same principles that Jesus taught. The only difference is he taught something contemporary that fit the problems of the society of his day, but all that he taught was based on eternal, immutable, unchanging truths. But when Buddha died, they named the religion after Buddha and they called it Buddhism. Confucius came. He taught similar. He died. The religion became Confucianism. Tao came. He died. They called the religion Taoism. Look at it. Shinto came. And after Shinto died, they called the religion Shintoism. Zoroaster came, and after he died, they called the religion Zoroastrianism. Isn't that something? Jesus came. And after he went, they called what he taught Christianity. Well, what about Judaism? All right, get the camera on me now. Ain't nobody interested in what I say about Christians. Ain't nobody interested in what I say about Muslims. If I mention Jews, that's it. Put the camera on quick. Get him. We got him now. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. I'm not going to say nothing ugly that you can say is anti-Semitic. Watch. Open your Bible. When does Abraham say, I am a Jew? You can't find it. It's not there. When did Moses say, I am a Jew? He never said it. Jesus never said, I am a Jew. That's something you put on it. Then you call your religion Judaism. After Judah. Who is Judah? I don't want the religion of Judah. I don't want that. I want that old-time religion that was good for the prophets, and I know it's good for me. It never had a name because you don't name the nature of the spider. You just call him a spider. Study what he does. Say, this is a spider. What does he do? He spins webs, catches lightweight creatures, and eats well. The religion is the nature of God, and it's the nature in which he creates human beings. If the human being is left alone and lives naturally, the human being will follow the natural path. We only need scripture when a human being loses the way to God. Like when you get lost, you need a map to get you back on the road again. That's all scripture is. Somebody lost the way to God, God send them a man with a scripture. Hey man, read this. And you get back on the path. God gives people rituals. In these rituals are dynamic principles of truth, but the people get caught up in the ritual and never find the truth of what their ritual is all about. The Jews have their rituals. The Christians have their rituals. The Muslims have their rituals. The Buddhists have their rituals. The Native Americans have their rituals. How dare you think that because the Native American don't have a Bible, that he's a heathen? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. I got to run all over the world and convert everybody. Convert them to what? To your madness? What have you converted the people to? I converted them to the Lord Jesus Christ. Stop lying. If you converted them to the Lord Jesus Christ, they would be acting like Jesus, but they act more like Satan in the name of Jesus. That's really who you converted them to. They're worshipers of Satan. The Episcopal bishops met, and I was an Episcopalian. I'm not talking against my church. I'm just telling truth. They met and they decided that they were not going to ordain homosexuals as priests. Although some don't care what the bishops say, they're going to do it. Well, dear brothers and sisters, the scripture says, I am God and I change not. Why should he change? When his knowledge of a thing is infinite, why should he change? He says in the scripture, I'm not the author of confusion, but of peace. God didn't send all these people in the world to bring you different religions, to have you fighting and killing each other over something none of you understand. One faith, one Lord, one baptism. That's what the book says. But look at us. Look at you. Divided. It wasn't until recently that Catholics would even think about going to somebody else's church. Catholic says ours is the church, nobody else's. Baptists swear that if you ain't dunked in the pool, doctor, have you been baptized? And if you said no, they said, Lord, you're on your way to hell. Drop you in the pool and you in hell. Right in the pool, in the church, in hell. Look, man, because Jesus was baptized, what does that mean? He was baptized. He didn't baptize. Name me one person that Jesus dunked in the water. When did Jesus take people down to the River Jordan and baptize them? He did that to one person. Because he wasn't about that. He was the fulfillment of what John was making a sign of. He said John said, one is coming after me that won't baptize you with water, but will baptize you with fire. Is this why you playing with hydrogen and nuclear weapons? You want to be baptized in fire? Crazy as hell. You really don't understand religion. And that is the major problem in the world. Then everybody that wants to do their own thing gotta find a way to make God justify their foolishness. Look at you. Well, if I'm a fornicator or an adulterer, and God said he's not going to accept that, how do I fix it so I can do my thing and make God sanctify my filth? I start playing with religion. Well, you see, this is a modern time, and you know, premarital sex is okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's old-fashioned that we shouldn't have sex before marriage. You got AIDS before marriage, huh? Look at you. I'm a homosexual. Not me. I'm making a statement for homosexuals. Say, I'm gay. You know? What's wrong with that? God said that he's love. And there's nothing wrong
with me loving my brother as I love myself. Now just fix it any way you wanna. You just slid in. Like a snake, you wrapped around your filth and tried to make God the justifier of your madness. And then if I say no, this is wrong, you call me homophobic. The church is all screwed up today. Yes, it is. Because you no longer the house of God. Satan has taken over the house. And that's why there's no order in the church. There's no discipline in the church. Why? Because the preacher don't want to preach discipline. If you're going to leave the church, take your money and go across the street and give your money to Reverend undisciplined, pig-eating, wine-bibbing, fornicating, committing adultery, so-and-so Reverend. Stop the killing, man. You killed yourself morally by playing with the Word of God, wrapping your twisted mind around God's Word to justify madness. Everything we do wrong, we can go find something in the Bible or to justify your foolishness. And you know what I'm saying is right. So when you start killing your own conscience in relationship to God, where God's word don't mean anything anymore, God's way don't mean anything anymore, because you're playing with God, playing with religion, then you're killing yourself spiritually. And once you die spiritually, a whole process of death flows from your spiritual death. Right now, you're in the grave, dead spiritually. But wait a minute, Farrakhan. Don't say I'm dead. I'm very well alive. I'll prove it to you, brother. This body is created by God as a conveyance for the spirit. The spirit is greater than what is carrying it. That's why the spirit is eternal and the flesh must die. So any man that serves or woman that serves the flesh serves that which is finite. Therefore, in that vanity, we die. All right. I know this is a little difficult.
Yes, sir. All right. Come on, go ahead, brother.
Where does this body come from? Comes from the earth. If you live to satisfy your body and never live to satisfy the spiritual essence of yourself, then you are dead inside your body, which is the earth. You are buried. You, the real you, is buried inside the earth that you came up out of. White folk, you dead. Buried in your whiteness. Look how sick you are. To make the color of your skin a badge of honor that anybody else who's non-white is not worthy, not as good as, not as worthy as you to be a servant and reap the benefits of God. Dead in your flesh. Killing each other over a damn piece of paper with a dead president on it. You take the paper and give it value and then slaughter human life over paper. stick a man up with a gun for paper that somebody else gave a value, because you don't value anymore the human life. You value the damn paper, so you will kill a human being for worthless paper. You sell your soul for paper. Unprincipled human beings, all somebody got to do is offer you paper, and you will sell out your brother, sell out your mother. You have no principles of decency and righteousness because you're a worshiper of paper. Stop the killing. A woman selling her virtue for paper, because this paper will allow this beautiful creature to buy some fur from one of God's creatures, killing animals for their tusk, for their hair or fur, so somebody can make a profit, because you think more of things than you do of human value and human life. So we kill for gold, we kill for diamonds, we kill for rubber. Give me them Nikes. I'll be doggone. We have become so dead spiritually that Air Jordan shoes means more than the air that the human being is breathing to keep him alive. And because you don't care anymore for life, you can sit at your television and watch Barney. I love you, you love me, la-dee-da-dee. A dinosaur. Your children in love with a dinosaur, and you produce the child. And the child won't sit down and listen to you, but want Barney on. Can't you see you are being made a fool? Sisters, you are beautiful. God made you magnificently beautiful. God didn't make a man without a nature to be touched by your beauty, particularly if you disrobe. A natural man could have his Bible in his hand. But if you go to taking off your clothes, he will forget what verse, what chapter. A man got to be real holy in this society to keep from wanting you. And then I can turn on my TV And there's my sister with a string up her backside, shaking herself in the tube. And men sitting down in their homes just drooling at the mouth. You've been made into a dog, and you don't even know what's happening to yourself. You're dead mentally. You're dead spiritually. You're in the grave of ignorance, and you cannot rise to be the man and the woman that God intended for you to be, because you're living below your waistline. You are a slave of your appetite. You eat too much, so you're overweight and sloppy, dying of filth in your own bodies. Oh man. Living for your sex organs. Worshiping sex when God gave it to us for a specific purpose. But we have become slaves to it. Stop the killing. You say, oh, Farrakhan, I thought you was going to talk about the gangbangers. That's the last phase, doctor. I want to show you how the gangbanger came into existence. You brought him into existence with your madness. President Clinton and other presidents have called us to war. And they have us in the Marine Corps trained to kill other human beings. So whenever there's a problem in the world, we can just send you. Because you'll kill anything that government says it's all right to kill. You've been made so dead that you can be used now by wicked government, big business. Lyndon Johnson lied to the American people. They fabricated an incident called the Tonkin Gulf incident and widened the war in Vietnam, and 500,000 young Americans, black, brown, red, yellow, and white, went to Vietnam to protect what? You say democracy. How in the hell can you protect democracy abroad and you don't even have it at home? Do you really think democracy is just the right to vote? This is a mockery. All you got to do is have some money and comb your hair a certain way, posture a little bit, sound like John Fitzgerald Kennedy.
That's right.
And a fool will vote for you.
That's it.
Do you give your children the right to choose when they're children? Talk to me. When they come in the world, do you say to them, what do you want to be? The child just got here. What you talking about what you want to be? What do you want your child to be? You the potter, it's the clay. It cannot resist what you shape it for. But you are not shaping your children. Television is shaping your children. The streets are shaping your children. filth is shaping your children. Not the church, not the school, not the home. You forfeited your right. We're killing our future. We've abandoned our responsibility. And now, because government says it's all right, we're killing the fruit of our wombs. It's okay. Don't let any baby stop you from your wild career. Oh no. I'm not going to let no baby stop me. That's what you say. So because Roe versus Wade has made it convenient now because it's government-sponsored killing, and you go on to the abortion clinic. You got the right of choice, sisters. You can choose who you're going to sleep with. And what a fool you are to give yourself to some man that you don't give a damn about just for some biological gratification. That shows you that you have been reduced to an animal. No man needs to make no commitment to you. Just hot, that's all. Come on, man. Dance with me, baby. Come on, groove with me, mama. Sick. You gonna spend your money to go in some doggone theater and have these low-life people with their degenerate behavior, and you sitting there with your children laughing. And the man is a MF this and a FU that and a SOB and that son of a so-and-so and that MF said this, and you all sitting there listening and laughing and sopping up the alcohol. You're a nation of savages, wild beasts. You're already dead. I know it hurts. That hell, you all want to look at the drive-by shooting? You want to look at the young gangbangers? Hell no. Look at your old funky self. That's who you need to look at. You produce that that's in the street. A group of no good teachers learning this craziness from the Caucasian. You call it education. That's why the children don't want to feed from their teachers anymore, because what you're teaching is damn garbage. And you know it and they know it. You gonna tell them about George Washington? Have you ever seen a white person named Washington? I have never met one white person named Washington. Why? He was a white man. Didn't he have children? He had slaves, damn it. And all his slaves were Washington, and he went into our women and produced little Washingtons. But he never owned up to them as his sons. Why are you going to teach your children lies? Santa Claus is a damn lie. You don't help your children's minds by feeding them lies. Lies kill the mind, because the mind is created in truth to revolve on truth. But when you feed lies into the human mind, you are killing the human being. Well, it's just a little white lie. I don't care how white it is. Go ahead, that's right. Now Santa Claus done took over. some big fat white man from the North Pole with rosy cheeks has moved Jesus out. And you silly mothers down here playing the game for the merchants to get rich off of your ignorance. So you go spend your money to buy your children gifts, then give the credit to a white man, and then wonder why your children don't think a black man can't do a damn thing for them. Religion full of half-truths. Child, when you die, that's when you're going to go to heaven or hell. Well, they're already dead. Look at them. You're already dead and you're already in hell. You need to get up out of hell. And you can't get up out of hell until truth finds you in your grave and resurrects you from the dead. It ain't talking about nobody in the cemetery getting up and flying away to glory. That person you put in the ground ain't flying no place. Norfolk. You all right, Norfolk? Come on, let's stop the killing. It's a shame. You tell the people, we're going to heaven when we die. Oh, where is it, teacher? White folks put a telescope out there, they call it Hubble. They spy all the planets. They got close-up pictures of the comets, of meteors, crashing into Jupiter. They can see far stars that are light years, millions of light years away. They ain't spied heaven yet, you know. Look at you, wasting your valuable mind power thinking of a kingdom outside of the earth when Jesus said, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth. You looking to go somewhere else. And while you looking to go somewhere else, the wicked rulers clean up on the earth. That's right. You space cadets. If heaven is up and the earth is turning at the speed of 1,037 1/3 miles per hour, then what's up now? 12 hours later, I'm looking down. How could that be? Up don't mean up. Up means elevated above. It don't mean sky. It means that as far away from the earth as the sky is as far away from heaven as we are in the life that we are living. You say heaven is my home, or you didn't fall out the sky, baby. Hell is in the ground. You tell your children, you can't mess up, you're going to hell and you're going to burn. You can't frighten young people today into believing in no God now. They'll frighten you out of your belief in God when they bust in your church with an AK-47. They'll show you ain't got too much faith at all when they come in there and tell the preacher, all right, get out the pulpit and lie down and give me all the money. You ain't never said Jesus and jumped on him. You lay down, Doc, and give up the money. Because what you teach, you don't believe in it, half of you yourself. You're just using Jesus for commercial purposes. Jesus is big business. Playing with God. More singing, more dancing, more shouting, less teaching. Go to church, you want to be edified by sound doctrine. Something that will help you get in life what God intended. So we sing, we get in the right spirit, but we don't hear nothing. The devil gonna get you. What's the diameter of the earth? 7,926 miles. Then if hell is at the center of the earth is 1/2 the diameter or the radius of the diameter. So if the diameter is 7,963 miles, then the radius is 3,830 some odd miles. That's the radius. That's where hell is. Hell is supposed to be 100 times hotter than the sun. The sun is 14,972 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's 93 million miles away. And a baby in Arizona fell on the sidewalk and burned up with a sun that's 93 million miles away. Yet you could walk on the earth, baby, and you can't feel nothing from this hell that's under you. You're killed mentally. Like Malcolm said in the movie, you've been took. You've been bamboozled. You've been hoodwinked. And in your state, you're merchandise for the merchants of death. They feed you anything and you eat it. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Because you, right now, are killing yourself by what you're putting in your body. This is the real house of God. This is the real house. It's greater than any church that any man has ever constructed. The human body is the house of the living God. You all should have been standing and shouting on that. Name me one church that wasn't built by the hands of man, and name me one church that is the equal of the majesty of the human body. But you go to church and act all holy and sanctimonious. We're in church. We're in church. And don't get near the altar. Somebody says, stand down, stand down. Only the bishop can sit here. Only the preacher can sit here. In a house made of stone and wood and some trinkets in it. Show me one house from the most majestic St. Peter's Basilica or Al-Haram in Mecca that is more valuable than the human body. This is God's construction. It's a magnificent structure. The Quran says Allah created you in the best of makes. This is magnificent. But you don't keep it up. How many of you got nice homes? A nice home. May I see your hands? Live in a nice home? Not too many. May God bless you one day to have a good home. But those of you who got a home, you know that no matter how good that home is, it demands what? Upkeep. If it starts leaking at the roof, what you do? You don't let it leak on. You try to call somebody, or you get up there yourself and fix it, right? If the furnace go out, what do? Home is no better than the upkeep of it. Well, what about this? You all plugged up? Constipation? Got leaky pipes? You're caving in at the roof, hair falling off, teeth falling out, gut falling down, arch falling, feet flat, corns, bunions. You're young, but you're old before your time. Because you don't know how to live. Young men, old, because you smoke. I got to die from something. Yeah, that's true. You ain't got to rush it. So you smoking now. Because white folks said smoking was all right, and they put your favorite heroes in the movie, and just look at you. God made you to inhale fire, all right, but it's oxygen mixed with hydrogen. Oxygen is pure fire, but the hydrogen balances it. So you're breathing in fire balanced with hydrogen that really causes you to generate life. But now you don't want that. You want fire. Fire. So you say, where there's smoke, there's... Yeah, fool.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, brother.
Hey, you gonna take the cigarette. Yes, naturally, you like Clinton. He smokes reefer, but he doesn't inhale. So now you gonna smoke your cigarette, right? Pull it down in the lungs. What's that for? It kind of helps me calm my nerves a little bit. 10 years later, your lungs burn up because you don't love life. You're a worshiper of death. Look at you. Flap of your nose all burnt out. You snorting cocaine. You got a little money. You famous. So you're going to snort. For the poor man, we give you a little crack. And we know you can't afford to, you know what I mean? And we're going to get you high sure enough. Or you got your little rock now, and you on the pipe. All out your mind. Mother don't even recognize you no more. You're a liar and a thief. Because all addicts are liars. Lie like hell. I mean, they make lies. I mean, they can fix it so fast. Make you believe, too. liar, thieves, and murderers because you're drugged. You're too fat? Take a pill. You're too skinny? Take a pill. You feel down? I got a pill for that. Can't sleep at night? Take another pill. Oversexed? Take a pill. We got a pill for everything. So the dope merchant is pilling you to death. You don't need a pill. You need to strengthen your will. You don't need drugs. You can get high without a drug. I'm high all the time. All the time. I stay up. You could have all the drugs you want in here. Well, none of these brothers, I don't think. None of these brothers would take it. We walk right by it because we don't need it. We don't need nothing artificial to make us real to ourselves. So you that drink, are you killing yourself? Cirrhosis of the liver. We're dying from that. Sugar, diabetes, high blood pressure. What's the matter with you? Stress, stress. It's stressful doing nothing, ain't it? Non-productive people got a lot of stress. You ain't built nothing. Tear down everything that is built. I'm stressed out. What happened to your marriages? You can't stay together. What's wrong with you? You get married, you're all in love. He's the finest man I ever met in my life. It's wonderful. 6 months later, that dirty dog. What happened in 6 months got you all turned around like that? See, sex blinds you, girl. You get all knocked out in the sex thing and think you in love, huh? And the man fall out of work. And he's falling out of work fast today because white folks closing these factories and taking them somewhere else. He's giving you sisters the job, ain't giving your brother nothing. So you downtown making money and your husband is home. He trying to find a job, can't find one. So he's sitting at home watching the soaps. He's at home doing nothing while the world turns. He's so messed up every Friday night you see him at the General Hospital. Thinking about where can I get some money to feed all my children. He said, I'm all messed up because I have not been the guiding light. You're all messed up, man. Can't you see you dead? Somebody got to help us. What happened to your marriage? Well, it started off all right. All of that, you know, that's nice when the honeymoon is over and the honey falls off the moon, then reality sets in. Hi, honey. Honey, are you going to work? No, baby, you working. He started asking you for car fare. Hey, baby, can you give me a couple of dollars, you know what I'm saying? She owned the car. She paying the rent. She buying you your Nikes. She's paying you to stay there and have sex with her until she get tired of you. Then she starts stiffing you. You ain't doing nothing? Least you could have done is clean the house while I was gone. You should have cooked me some food. Now he's all offended. Hey, baby, don't talk to me like that. Next thing you know, he's beating you in your mouth. He can't handle your brain. So he got to put a fist on you. And the next time you see him, he's out in the street with his hand going strange. Because being a man is too much. You're going to run get a white woman. You know, I got to say this. See, Caucasian women have been taught all their lives that the black man is something sexually. And the white man been taught all his life that you a real animal sexually. So when he wants to go to the zoo, he come up in your neighborhood. I'm not trying to be funny. He know how to story you. That's why he got you downtown. Hey, baby. He treats you real nice. Open doors for you. How do you do, Miss So-and-so? You look beautiful today. What is that you have on? It smells real nice. And she thinking about how crazy you and I are. She just left us at home. You better get out that door and get some work. And before you know it, she and the boss going out. He got his animal. He can go tell all his white friends. And you dumb enough to think he really loves you. If he loves you, black woman, why don't he love your black father that produced you? Why don't he love your black brother, your black uncle? The same white man that will marry you will kill your father. Because you ain't nothing but a plaything for him. White woman ain't making no demand on the black man, just come to bed. But a black woman wants you to be a man. And she'll raise hell with you and me until she can find a real man in us. And many of us can't take that. You're dying. Now let's wrap this up. But a black woman wants you to be a man. And she'll raise hell with you and me until she can find a real man in us. And many of us can't take that. You're dying. Now let's wrap this up. Don't go. Oh, you're going to the bathroom. It's all right. We're almost finished, Norfolk. Listen. Listen. You start by having children that do not bond to you as a human being. They told you that breastfeeding will cause you to lose your form. And you know you don't want to lose your form. So you put your baby on a cow, or you let some dude in a chemistry lab fix up a formula for you, when there is no formula that man made, and there's no milk from a cow or any other creature that is more suited to the new life than the milk that comes from a wonderful mother. Sisters, you gotta go to work. I ain't got no time. I want to nurse, but I just don't have time. I gotta go to work. So you dry up your milk, put your baby on a bottle. Now, instead of the baby bonding to you, one of the most beautiful sights is to see a child nursing from its mother and bonding to the mother, looking for its mother. But now it's bonded to the plastic bottle. You so busy, you take the child to the daycare center. Government is helping daycare, Head Start. It's another way of warehousing your children. People out there don't love your child like you love them. So I know you have to work. So when you go to work, your child is there, but what kind of attention is the child getting? What kind of love is your baby getting? The baby looking for you. You come home 5 o'clock. Now, you know, there's no food. So you put in one of them pop-up meals made in some kitchen. You don't know whether it's clean, dirty, or whatnot. Just pop it in the microwave. And you feed yourself death, and then sit the baby down in front of the TV while you're getting the dinner. So you're bonding your children to inanimate objects. Then you bring in a Barney doll or a teddy bear, or you bond it to a dog or a bird. My little birdie. And what you don't see is you're making your child cold to human life. You are making your child cold to human life. The child feels unloved, unwanted. You got so much stress on you just trying to make it in this crazy world that you're not balanced. You lose your temper, and you do what? You take it out on your children. You take it out on your wives. The wife takes it out on her husband. You're just busy cutting each other up. And the children are dying in that kind of atmosphere. When they get to be 10, 11, and 12, they've seen so much till they're cold to death. And so now that they're frightened by all the babies you're having, they have to deal wisely with you so that your multiplication won't be a problem for them. So now guns are in your neighborhood. Who brought the guns? Who made your children cold? Now they're cold, heartless, and vicious. Because we as parents have gone to the abortion clinic once too many times. And we have had babies that we really didn't want. They were accidents that happened. We got them from different fathers, and it's difficult for you, mother, to love a child that you don't love the source of that life germ. So just look at your lives. Now, I know, man, this kind of teaching really pricks your conscience, doesn't it? But look, sisters, I'm not trying to make you feel bad if you've had an abortion. Listen to me carefully. God forgives you for whatever you've done in ignorance, okay? That's the past. That's gone. I can tell you from what I know from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, God forgives you. But look, sisters, every baby you have, you really don't know who that child is. That child could be the answer to sickle cell anemia, to cancer, to lupus. Every great child in this world is born from the womb of a woman. Your womb is sacred. And we are taught in the Quran to reverence the womb that bore us. I am a child of a beautiful black mother who tried to abort me 3 times. The circumstances of her pregnancy with me were difficult, and so she decided to get rid of me. My dad, she told me, I don't know him, he was a kind of womanizer. She didn't want that. She married him, but she put him out. She took up with another man whom I think she really liked, but she didn't marry him. She was still married to my father. She had a child from this other man who is my older brother. But then my father, whom she really loved, but just couldn't take, his womanizer, he slipped back in the picture. And you know how it is when they slip back in? And you love them and you can't resist them? Well, that happened, and she was pregnant with me. Now what to do? What to do? What to do? Lord, I'm pregnant. First thing she thought of, I'm going to get rid of it. So in those days, there was no Roe versus Wade. There was a hanger. And she tried to use this hanger 3 times, and it didn't work. So after she tried to abort me 3 times, she decided, I'll let it be. But she was so frightened because she knew that the pregnancy, in coming to birth, it would destroy the relationship she had with a man that she really cared for. So then she hoped maybe I would come out real dark, because she was very dark and he wasn't far behind. And then, well, since my brother was a boy, she said, well, maybe if I could just give him a girl and he's dark, I could sort of, I might be able to get by. But that was not to be. The child came out a boy and real light with a kind of blondish hair at that time. She had to take this boy home and show this boy to this man, and this man knew that this boy was not his. That ended that relationship. But all the while my mother was carrying me, she was frightened. And the only thing you can do when you're frightened is pray. And she kept on praying. And the more she prayed, her prayers went right on into the womb. Me in the womb, born of her insecurity, but finding a refuge in God. Isn't that something? So this sacred mother of mine, when she lost that relationship, she took her 2 boys and got out of New York City and went to Boston, where we grew up. Why am I telling you this? It really ain't your business.
Because in this audience tonight, there may be a sister who is expecting and is thinking about getting rid of that child. And I want to say to you, my dear sister, even though the circumstances may be hard, go on and have the baby. Pray and let God take over. Even though the circumstances may look very dark to you, it is out of those dark circumstances that light comes. And I can promise you that if you have that baby, it'll be one unlike anything you have ever had before if you had children. And if you never had children before, it will be a matchless human being. Because God is standing over your womb today. And if you will take life seriously and vow what is in your womb, give it to God. Say, this one is for you. This one that I'm making is yours, God. That's what happened, Reverend, when when Elizabeth had Mary. The Quran says when she became pregnant, she vowed what was in her womb to Allah, meaning that she set her mind on God when she was making this child. And I'm telling you, you can make a grape of wrath or you can make a Jesus. It's up to you. Your womb is just that sacred that if you vow what is in your womb to God and concentrate on God and feed yourself the right kind of foods and keep evil away from your thinking, you will be making a child born from the womb to serve God in a very special way. And I'm saying that because of what my mother did for me. She made me from the womb to put my trust in God. And even when I was a little boy, as God is my witness, I could feel God all over me. As a little boy, not knowing God, but I could feel his spirit all over me. As a child, everybody that saw me as a baby knew I was going to be something special, something different. I didn't know it, but they knew it. Listen, man. I was made for you. My mother was only answering a call from the grave of black people, praying for somebody who would stand up for us, somebody who would not bow down to the enemy, somebody that the enemy could never make afraid. That don't come from college. God makes that. I'm saying to all of you, dear brothers, my strength is not mine. My strength is because I seek refuge in God. I know I can't handle this, so I gotta hide myself in the bosom of him who can handle it. And that's why I appear strong, but it's really not me, it's God covering me. Do you understand what I'm saying? So every mother in here, every woman in here tonight, white or black, brown, red or yellow, you are sacred. And you should never, never, never defile yourself and allow any man to just have you without making a solid commitment that means something. Don't lay down with no man just because you want a thrill. You gonna stop the killing? All right, let's end it. You stop the killing by coming to life spiritually. When you come to life spiritually, you start uniting with God. That's number one. Every man must come back to God and let God make you over into the man that you're supposed to be. And when you surrender to God, he will make you, brother. How do you know, Farrakhan? He's making me. And you know what? I know I'm an unusual black man. You ain't got to tell me. I'm not ordinary. I'm from the junk pile. But God has polished me and put me back on the junk pile to show you how your junk can shine if you will use the polish that God calls me to use. Just submit to God. Stop fearing what white folk are going to think or say. The more you surrender to God, the less you will fear any man. Then you're free indeed. I am a free black man. Probably one of the freest black men you have seen in your life. If I could have been killed, the media would have done it already. They don't like Farrakhan, but you don't see me fretting. The government doesn't like me. Many Jewish people don't like me, and they're people of power, and they frighten the hell out of so many Christians too. But you don't stop me. If God be for you, who can be against you? Take courage, stand up, and let God make you into a man and a woman. And when God makes you, nobody can unmake you. You want to live? Let's stop the killing. Go home, look at yourself in the mirror, and say, I am from God. I love myself. And because I love myself, I'm not going to do anything to harm this precious life that God has given me. And then look over at your husband, look over at your wife. Say, that is my second self. I can't beat myself, so I can't beat my wife. This is my wife of 40 years. Stand up, Bessie. 40, this will soon be 41 years we've been married. We have 9 children, 25 grandchildren, 1 great-grandchild. How she look? Do you know what? My son standing behind me, one of them, he has never seen his father beat his mother. Never. He has never heard his father call his mother out of her name. Don't you ever, black man, call a woman a bitch as long as you live. No woman is a bitch. A bitch is a female dog. And God made man in his image, not in the image and likeness of a dog. So don't let nobody dog you. Don't let nobody make you other than yourself. I hit my wife only once. Only once. Only once, right? Only once. And I had just become a Muslim.
And I was crazy. Thought I was supposed to give orders and she was supposed to take them. And I hit her. She hit me back. And that was the end of that. I never hit this beautiful woman since that day. And I don't believe I will ever in my life strike a woman, because no man can call himself a man and beat up women. No man should call himself a man and beat up a woman. If you got a beater, you don't need her. Leave her alone. You can't handle her. She's too much for you. Then go find you somebody you can handle. All my children love their father. I made mistakes like any father, but all my children love me because she loved me. She put it right in the children. And you know what? I reinforced the love that she put in them by being the best father that I know to be. I wasn't always there, but I worked hard. I never stole from nobody, lied, cheated to feed my children. I don't think that God will let any of us suffer if we put our trust in him. Well, I got 3. You know, I don't need no more, economics says. Tell that to the, to the rabbits. They ain't thinking about economics. They have babies. God will help you. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't limit it. You know what I mean? But don't kill your children for fear of bread. God will take care of you just like he took care of my wife and me and a whole host that I know who have children. And you watch the people that got children. They always got an extra bowl of soup for you when you come by the house. You trying to scrimp and save, just have one, and you got to keep your company in the living room looking at TV while you and your children eat quietly and then run up, wipe your mouth real good. You never have enough in your pot to offer to somebody else. The people with children do. Then, sisters and brothers, no matter what your denomination is, never look askance at somebody else because of their faith tradition. Honor and respect faith. If it's Jehovah's Witness, honor and respect them. They're some of the finest people in the world. The witnesses of Jehovah. I have great respect for Jehovah's Witnesses. I have great respect for any person of faith. And I want all who think I'm anti-Semitic to know, how could I be anti-Semitic? I am a Jew. I know that blow your mind, doesn't it? How could you be a Muslim and a Jew? I'm a Christian too. I'm all of that. And then some. When you understand, you don't let these things divide you. I love the Prophet Muhammad. But I don't have to say I'm Sunnah, Sunni. If you follow the Sunnah of the Prophet, that's what you're supposed to do. You don't have to name yourself that from other Muslims. The Prophet was a Muslim. He was not Sunnah, Shiite, Sufi. He was a Muslim. Jesus never said he was a Christian. Well, what was he? In Arabic, we say, when you say, not my will, but your will, we say it in Arabic, Islam or Muslim. And I don't care what you call your religion, If you submit your will to do the will of God, you're on the right path. You are on the right path. So no matter what your fraternity is, Alpha, Omega. Jesus said, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, said the Lord. So don't get caught up in your fraternity and don't see the bigger picture that we all are brothers and sisters and one great family. But we got to rise above tribe. Where you come from? I'm from Georgia. I'm from Mississippi. Why don't you say it right? I'm from God. I am from Allah. And the whole earth is my domain. And I'm not going to let you compartmentalize me. So I will say, I'm from Jamaica. And you're from Trinidad. And I don't like no Trinidadians. Because I'm from Barbados. And I'm from Costa Rica. I'm from Guatemala. I'm from Brazil. You can call it anything you want, brother. You're from the earth. And when you die, the earth, wherever you are, will receive you. No more spiritual division. Now, what is the greatest moral teaching to preserve life? Jesus said it and Muhammad said it. Jesus said it like this: do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Just think about those words. If you followed just that, that's the best religion you could have. Prophet Muhammad said, love for your brother what you love for yourself. If you follow that, you'll never do wrong to another human being. You become a force to stop the killing. What color are you? I'm black. You see, I'm not as black as some. Somebody been in my family interfering with me, but they didn't take it all. I got some left. But I will never exalt my color and say that I am better than another human being because I'm black. I can only be better about my duty to God. I want to be a good person, so I want to be dutiful to God. To the whites that are in the audience, you got to come out of that sick mind that you better because you're white. You're only better if you serve God better and more faithfully, then you're a better person. But nobody is better because of your color of your skin. And you're certainly not better because you have a BS full of no. You're not better if you have a master's degree. You're not better if you have a doctorate degree. These only show the level that you are capable of serving, not mastering, serving. If you have a master's degree, then you should be a better servant of those who don't have that. So your degree should qualify you to serve more people and serve them better. But never walk around arrogant, thinking you are better because somebody gave you a degree. Those of you that ride nice cars and those of you that walk, you got feet. God gave both of you feet. Now the man that's on wheels can get there faster,
but he might never get there at all. You might stand a better chance getting there walking. So if you will stop killing you, just make up your mind tonight. You're deputized. Stop the killing. Take your babies and have a plan for them. Think about what you want your children to be and then set them on that course. Do everything in your power to make them into that will serve the best interests of our people, and go to it. And don't you ever think that you as an individual are not valuable. Every one of you is a giant. Every one of you is a God. Not the God, but you are a God made in the likeness of God. So when you see yourself and you see your brother, you see yourself. So when you shake his hand, you're shaking the hand of a part of God and a part of yourself. When you respect your brother, you respect yourself. You're showing respect for God. For how can you love God whom you have never seen and hate your brother whom you see every day? Thank you for listening, and may Allah bless you as I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, before you leave, let's have prayer. Can we pray together? Norfolk, I want to thank you again for such a beautiful evening. I hope something that we said has touched you in some way to help you with your life. Next year, God willing, we hope to have the largest march on Washington in the history of America. And we're asking all of our sisters if you would be so kind as to stay home. You have been our leaders, you have been our teachers, but it's time now for the black man to stand up for himself and his family. 1 million black men marching on Washington, sober and strong. We want to give Washington a message that they will never forget. A message from the black man on behalf of all our people. And then our wives who are at home, our daughters, and those men who don't make it. We want that to be one day of prayer. We don't go to the bar that day. We don't go to the liquor store that day. We don't even go to the supermarket that day. We don't go to school that day. We don't go to work that day. We stay and we want to concentrate on what the unity of black people can send a message to America. Let's shut her down for one day. Down without firing a gun. The unity of us as a people will say to America, look, we want justice. We've fought in all your wars, and we've bled and we've died for freedom that we don't have. We demand what is ours. And in that one day, I guarantee you that it's the shot that will be heard all the way around the earth, and the whole earth will say the black people in America are rising. 1 million black men in Washington. The traffic won't move. Nothing gonna move that day. The black man has come into his own. How many men would like to be in Washington
on that day with your brother? You would? Now listen, brothers, we're not paying nobody's way. Every man got to be a man and stand on his own 2 feet. So we got a whole year. So what you do, put a little aside every day. We're going to Washington. 1 million black men, all registered. Not Democrats, not Republicans. We're going to switch you out of that party. We're going to be independent. And then we're going to use our strength and force Clinton, Dole, whoever, they're going to come to us like they go to Jews, put on a yarmulke. I'm going to put them in a dashiki. You come in here and talk to us. You're not going to get our vote. Tell us what you're going to do. Huh? Don't they do that for Israel? How you love Israel? What we're going to do for Israel, you're going to come here. You're not talking to no leaders behind no door. You're going to come and have a town meeting and tell black people what you're going to do about our demands. We ain't giving you nothing. We're going to force all handkerchief head Negroes to take the handkerchief off their head. You with it? Would you be proud of us, sisters, if we start moving in the right direction? We got the best women in the world, brothers. We just got to try to be worthy of our women. Thank you, Dr. Reed, for honoring me with your presence. Thank you, Ida Sands. Thank you, Attorney Gay. Thank you, all the leaders. Thank you, Brother Minister John, Brother Arif, and all of the staff for making this a beautiful night. And the Sweet Pea himself. Where's the great Sweet Pea? The mighty one. Pleasure to see you, brother. That's right, he's the greatest fighter pound for pound in the world. And he's yours, Norfolk. He's ours too. And what we hope for in Sweet Pea, not only that he goes down in history as one of the greatest fighters that ever lived, but that he used his fame and his wealth to build institutions that will live long after Sweet Pea and me and you are gone. These are wonderful black men. Let's support them and help them to support our people. So brothers, so sisters, man, I don't want to leave you, but I gotta go. But Reverend, yes, Dr. Reed. The Vice Mayor is here? Where's our Vice Mayor? Sir, I'm sorry. How are you, dear brother?
I was here. I'll be with you then.
Come on here. The Vice Mayor of the city of Norfolk. We are honored by his presence. And brothers, sisters, we need brothers like this in positions that they're in. And we must back them to give them the strength and the leverage to really speak for us, fight for us where he is. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. May God bless you. Wa alaikum salam. Thank you. Reverend Dr. Reed, would you and I say prayer together for our people? Do you know this brother? Do you know Dr. Reed? He's a long-time fighter for our people right here in the city of Norfolk. Brothers, sisters, can you stop all movement? Reverend Dr. Reed is going to say a prayer, and I'll say a prayer. And then
before you go, if you would just, as the prayer is finished, would you just turn to each other, shake each other's hand, and, you know, be family. And when you go out of here today, let us make a difference in the city of Norfolk and stop the killing.
Thank you, Minister Farrakhan, for your presence tonight and for what you have brought to us again in the city of Norfolk by the way of inspiration and challenge, that we may become what God has destined all of us to be, his children. Let us pray. Eternal God, our Father, we give thy name thanks. For in the midst of all of the social ills, in the midst of the trauma in the African American, midst of lack of peace throughout the world, we thank you for the Prince of Peace, that he might reign and rule in our hearts. Thank you for the minister, the ecclesiastical potentate of the African community in diaspora. We thank you for him and for the message. We thank you for Minister John X and the Hampton Roads Coalition Against Violence that brought this meeting together. We thank you for those who have come. God bless us. In Jesus' name we ask it. Amen.
قل أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم الصراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. In the name of Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the beneficent, the merciful, Master of the day of judgment. Thee alone do we worship, thine aid we seek. Guide us on the right path, the path of those upon whom you have bestowed, the path of those upon whom your wrath is brought down, nor of those who go astray. O Allah, we thank you for this evening. We thank you for each and every person who came. We pray that your words will touch the hearts of these your hearers, that we may escape from the death of division, the death that comes from spiritual disobedience to God, the moral death, the economic death, and the deadly destruction of human life. We pray that from this day forward, each one of us will make it our lifelong goal to stop the killing. We ask all of this in your holy and righteous name. For I bear witness there is no God but you, and I bear witness that Muhammad is your messenger. Ameen. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar. That means God is great. Is he not?
Thank you for coming. May God bless you. Oh, my little niece. Come on up here quick, honey. This is my little niece. She's on, what's the name of that radio station, Aisha? 103 Jams. Candy Eastman. You know her? Helping us to get this crowd today. Thank you. We're not going to let you stretch your leg like that. There got to be a stair here somewhere. Take her down, brother. Thank you all. God bless you. Did you greet one another? I bet you didn't. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, give another Norfolk round of applause for the Honorable Louis Farrakhan right there under section 108 at the rear of the auditorium. As you depart, make sure you pick up your copy of tonight's tape as you depart the building. Please follow the minister's instruction, tarry a while, linger and meet someone you didn't know, greet someone you haven't seen, stay a while and enjoy the fellowship of the people of God as we unite.